Good Monday morning to you all. Hopefully you guys are doing great. We got another Watchmen update. Big news story is happening right now. We got another oil tanker not crashing. It is sinking as the war against tankers goes global. We got a U.S. fighter jet crash landing. This is part of the Venezuela buildup. Looks like the pilot survived that one. And a scary rumor is making its rounds about the silver market. Apparently a doomsday scenario supposedly is unfolding, but this is going to unfold anyway, just it might take a little bit longer. We'll walk you through that. We got Romania's defense minister resigning after lying on his resume, made up going to a college. That's kind of a serious one, but listen to him, somehow it's Russia's fault. Yes, you heard that right. Honduras, they have their elections happening. It's a big deal. And the counting is still happening hours after the vote. I mean, not like the United States where all the counting was done within weeks. Anyway, real world consequences of pokes on the shoulder being felt by families all over the United States. We got that and a whole lot more. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates. If you have something to share, make sure you use the word update somewhere in your comment, and that does get it to the right place. We do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They help people with retirement accounts. So if you have an IRA, a 401k, if you have a retirement account that you want to move over into precious metals, physical metals that you can actually hold, Jonathan and his team can walk you through what that would look like, the fees, and everything like that. They do also offer free silver or free precious metals that come along with the transaction if you do qualify for that, if you're transferring from one retirement plan to the other. If you want to find out more about that, there'll be a link at the end of the video. All right, the Panamanian flagged and Turkish-owned oil tanker MT Mersin, alleged to be affiliated with the Russian Shadow Fleet, but whatever that means. It's currently sinking off the coast of Dakar, Senegal. This is Western Africa, and reportedly it came under attack overnight by several uncrewed surface vessels. Looks like drone boats hit it. That's West Africa. How in the world did the drones get over there? It's possibly a third attack on a Russian-linked tanker, and this is possibly by the Ukrainian intelligence services. This could mean that they are going global with their hunt on Russian oil tankers. This could be a very big deal. If we see any more attacks, it's going to start to become a trend, and the oil market will probably freak out. So if you're afraid of oil prices going up, if you don't want to pay a lot higher gas taxes or a lot higher gas prices, you might want to stock up. All right, the U.S. Marine Corps Harrier jump jet attached to 22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit aboard the USS Iwo Jima skidded off the runway and had to be recovered on Saturday. This was at Roosevelt Roads Naval Station in Puerto Rico that has been recently reactivated. That Harrier jump jet, like I said, the pilot did seem to survive. The plane seemed to survive, but did suffer damage after it ran off the runway. All right, now I'm going to be very clear that this is currently a rumor, but this is the kind of thing that if it were happening, they would absolutely deny. All right, supposedly someone, a massive Asian player, stood for delivery of 400 million ounces of physical silver at the COMEX exchange. Now that's over 12,400 tons of silver. Now, we're talking multiple billions of dollars here, but something that would be possible for large funds or large banks to be able to pull off. However, here's the rumor. Instead of delivering the metal, the bankers allegedly pulled the plug and shut it down to avoid total default. Now, supposedly they're in emergency meetings trying to figure out how to wiggle out of this. The paper silver scam continues. All right, so when the COMEX breaks, which is the paper silver market, which is heavily manipulated, you're going to wish you owned every ounce that you can get your hands on. That's why one of the reasons why we partner with Genesis Gold. They help people get into physical. All right, so maybe that's supposedly happening for December delivery. If they're in trouble in December, this could mean that the silver could go through the roof. If it's not happening, if it's not true, this is very much on brand for what's happening over at COMEX. They have 118,815 open contracts for March, which represents 594 million ounces of paper silver. We can look at the market and see that that's what's happening right now. That is more than 7 times more than all the COMEX inventories of silver. So if all those people demand delivery on silver, 1/7 of them, 1 out of every 7 contracts could actually be filled. And of course they won't. Each month, there's a normal delivery of about 1 to 3% of the contracts. On stressful months, 4 to 6% of the contracts demand delivery. And extreme peaks, we're looking at 8 to 10% demand delivery. Of course, that would collapse the COMEX exchange. It's fraudulent. The price of silver is absolutely manipulated and has been demonstrated time and time again. The only people that actually believe that's fairly priced are people who have never looked into it whatsoever. So at some point, some big player is going to step into the metals market and do that exactly that. So if someone has done that, yeah, they're going to get handed a wad of dollars and told to go take a hike. And I absolutely believe that could be happening. And if it's not happening on a immediate scale, it's already happening on the long-term scale anyway. All right, Romania's defense minister resigned on Friday after saying he, quote, made a mistake on his resume about his university education. Ionut Monstanu, he just sounds like a total tool as it is, all right, he admitted to writing on his resume that he graduated from a university that he never attended. Okay, so it's not like he attended there for a while and then he said he graduated. It's like he never went there in the first place. Why did he resign? He said he did not want the row to distract the NATO member at a time when Europe are under attack from Russia. So out of the goodness of his heart, he has resigned, even though he lied on his resume, saying that he went to a university that he never went to, and saying that he graduated from there, which he never did. How stupid do you have to be? Like, this is just, unbelievable. Yeah, liars. Anyway, moving over to Honduras, President Trump has threatened to withhold federal funding and foreign aid to Honduras if they elect a communist. So polls have closed yesterday on Sunday in Honduras's knife-edge presidential election. The Trump-backed Nasri Tito Asfura apparently is winning with about 40% of the vote counted as of the recording of this video, which is just a couple hours before you're watching this. So that's still happening, but Asfura is the only guy that is not a crazy person. His main challengers are a lawyer, Rixi Moncado, from the ruling leftist Libre Party. And if you just look at Honduras, I think you can basically ascertain how good they are for their country. Honduras is an absolute cesspool, and that nobody in their right mind wants to go to, and is dangerous to boot. The ruling party is not doing a great job. And then there's the Liberal Party's Salvador Nasrallah. And if you're like, gee, that sounds Middle Eastern. Yeah, funny thing about that. Anyway, why wouldn't a hellhole like Honduras vote for a Muslim? You know, just absolutely crazy. These countries are just going down the tubes, and it's like they keep voting for the exact same people when it's demonstrated that these countries can absolutely be turned around if they vote the right way. But they never will, because they always vote for the free stuff. Floods and cyclones and storms across Asia leave over 700 who have perished and hundreds more missing. Totally devastating floods across several Asian countries. We started covering this yesterday. Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, and Sri Lanka. I'm getting reports of folks in India already getting together relief stuff to go to Sri Lanka. Total problems there and have been for a while. A new legal petition filed by a dozen public health and farm worker groups demands that the Environmental Protection Agency in the U.S. stop allowing farms to spray antibiotics on food crops in the U.S. because they are probably causing superbugs to flourish and sicken farm workers. Yes, they're spraying antibiotics on your produce. You thought it was just your meat. No, they're doing it to your crops too. So the bugs on your produce might be super bugs that have evolved after being exposed to antibiotics. You go to the hospital with one of those things, and they can't treat you. Yeah, problems. The United States government, particularly the White House, has launched a new media bias tracking website on Friday, aimed at exposing outlets and journalists whose work is deemed false and misleading by the White House, placing them in an offender hall of shame. So that's good news if you want to check out who's the worst offenders on that list. You'll probably recognize the names. President Trump did confirm over the weekend here that he had a phone call, again, this is the second one that's been admitted, with Venezuela's Maduro. With the U.S. military buildup right off the coast, maybe President Trump really is pushing for a hard bargain to get Maduro to make concessions. Word out there is that Maduro has been seeking to talk with the United States government, and he is pursuing negotiations out of fear for imminent invasion. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has formally requested a pardon from the current president of Israel in his long-running corruption trial, arguing that it was in the public's interest for him to get his pardon. Don't you have to be guilty in order to get a pardon? And if you're guilty of corruption, should you really be pardoned for that? I don't know. I'm just asking for a friend here. Just asking for a friend. Kenneth says, while visiting my son and his wife in Austin, Texas, after going to both Walmart and Target, I saw only 3 boxes of powdered Tide and 2 boxes of powdered Gain in the stores. We'll check more, but when I get home back to Tennessee, but the boxes of detergent being gone seems to be true. Teresa, Long Beach, California. Most stores here are running out of chocolate and gum. Maybe it has something to do with the tariffs. I don't know. Chocolate prices are up because West Africa, while not blowing up Russian ships off their coast, is having very bad weather and is having a hard time growing chocolate. So that's why chocolate prices are up. Gum, I'm not quite sure why gum is having problems, and it's gum, so I think we'll survive without it. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen problems with gum before. Haven't heard too many people talk about it. So is anyone else seeing problems with gum? If so, I'll dive into it and see what I can find. Kevin says, this year I decided to cook all the parts of the turkey separately. So I removed the breasts, the wings, the legs, and the thighs. I then broke the carcass, which I intentionally left plenty of meat on it, into a couple of pieces and put it into a pressure cooker for 3 hours. When it was done, there was maybe 4 or 5 bones that didn't break down, but the rest were able to mush down into the most delicious dog food. Fed my 4 dogs for 2 days. This can be done with almost anything. I've done it with pork shoulder for them before as well, and they loved it. So pressure cookers can reduce things into dog food if you want to use that for that. Christina says, Mid-Missouri, Walmart. Not many Black Friday shoppers here either, and no real deals. I did see one person buying a large TV, but everyone else was just buying normal stuff. Then went to Casey's convenience store and they are rounding down. No pennies. I tried to give them the exact change and they gave me my pennies back. Yeah, keep them as a souvenir because you won't be seeing them ever again. Salty Stone says, we live in the country and usually there are a couple of hawks flying over our area. Today I took my dog for a walk on our gravel road. There was a dead rabbit on the side, maybe hit by a car. No hawks, no vultures, nothing eating it. We've been talking about the lack of birds out there and the lack of insects this summer. A few months ago, I passed by the way on to Walmart. About 50 vultures gathered around a dead deer. The vulture increase is a sign of the end times. But we've been seeing just no birds recently. Barbara says, my daughter-in-law just had her second miscarriage. That's terrible. And this is in the last 12 months. No children yet. They haven't had any. Her and her son both had the pokes, and we're very proud of that. She also was on birth control for 14 years prior. Anybody else experiencing these miscarriages with family members who had the pokes? Also, she got the COVID last year, her first pregnancy, and miscarried same week. Our hearts are broken. It's just the real world effects, right? Now, no health agencies have directly linked the pokes with miscarriages or with impotence, but there's a lot of rumors going around about that, right? Nobody dares study it. That's one of the things that's most concerning, is that they refuse to study it and refuse to release any of the data that could be used to prove that. Why can't they just release the data and show that it's just not a case? Unfortunately, this seems to be part of the master plan. Paula says, I just bought a 7.12 ounce container of ground cinnamon from Amazon. It expired the 16th of October, which was $6.12, and they promptly gave me a refund. It's sad. I guess the robots can't read the expiration dates. Cinnamon does expire. It just loses its potency. Don't believe what Amazon will tell you about that it can't be replaced. Override it, chat with the bot, and that's how I got my refund, because the system said that it was not eligible for a refund. Always insist, friends, when you need that refund, right? Cynthia says, Chillicothe, Ohio, Kroger. Shopped Friday, and there were plenty of different kinds of rice in stock. The supply of tuna looked good. Plenty of chicken, pork, and beef. Other shelves looked good and stocked. The only thing missing for several weeks was white sugar, the 25-pound bag, and the 4-pound bag of pure cane sugar. Yeah. Haven't heard too much about that yet, but if anyone else is having issues with sugar, let us know. E says, whenever you're in your car, plug in your cell phone into the car charger. You never know when you're going to get stuck or when you're going to be at work late or whatever is going to happen. Yeah, just keeping your phone always charged up because you may need it, right? Also have a backup battery for your phone, right? They have the little ones that just plug into your phone and recharge. A battery bank is so useful. Karen says they have proved that patients in a hospital that were near the window recover better than those not, because of the sunlight coming through the window. In the cold winter time, I will open up the blinds and sit by that sunny window. The Harvard Kennedy School found that sunlight strongly protects against getting influenza. Well, I mean, in times past, hospitals actually had whole wards that were actually up on the roof or outside, where they take the patients outside and get their sunlight. Not only does it help people to get that vitamin D and give them a boost in spirit and everything like that, also it's a natural disinfectant. The sunlight just kills all the bacteria and kills viruses as well. It's a very, very good thing to treat people with sunlight. And this has been known for many generations and has only been recently forgotten by recent generations, where they put all the hospital people into little sealed rooms that don't get any sunlight. Maybe we need to remember some lost things that are important, right? All right, friends, thanks so much for joining with us. If you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold, there is a link right there on the screen. Just tap on there. They do waive the setup fee if you mention this channel or go through the link. And they do that for our channel because we've been with them for so long. And if you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report out.